Thank y'all for having me. I really appreciate it. I've been with the Economic Development Corporation. Yes. Sorry.
You gotta get to me real close. Listen.
Can everyone hear me? Okay, in the Alleghany Highlands Economic Development Corporation.
I'm racist.
Yes. It's eventually. Alleghany County, City of Covington, Clifton Forge, and Iron Gate. And our job is to promote economic development in the Alleghany Highlands. And there are many different ways to do that. But about 2 years ago, the board at that time and the director at that time, they reached out to a group called Timmons Group. And Timmons is a huge engineering consulting site development firm. They also do things like this for economic development. They're huge. They do a really wonderful job, and they're also the engineers and everybody that's working with us on the pad site, which we'll get to in a little bit as well. So through this process, they came up with, in conjunction with the board, 10 goals, or 10 objectives, excuse me, and each one of those has a goal or an action item with it. Some of those we've already completed. Some need to go that we'll complete down the road, but we prioritized them. And we're moving forward, and this progress report was done May the 9th, so things have happened since then, I promise. And so I'll give those updates as well as we're going through, but just go ahead and get started. So, already did that. So the 10 recommendations: update and enhance the website, which is done. Undertake proactive site selector familiarization efforts. Create and execute robust marketing campaign, incentives for data center strategies. Improve training programs for the region. Find a private sector champion, the Clifton Forge Business Park, Regional Commerce Park, and Rail Over River/AHEDC slab site. And last but not least, locate a new greenfield or brownfield site. So first one, update and enhance the website. So I think hopefully you've all had a chance to look at it. It's much more user friendly. It's updated frequently. It has it's branded. It sticks with the brand, and that was something else that we did throughout all this was the branding. And if you notice, it's trying to be similar to other organizations in the community. Same color schemes, mountains, rivers, that type of thing. And then it also has the search tool with VEDP, which is Virginia Economic Development Partnership, and the Roanoke Regional Partnership, who we work with both to get leads and that type of thing. So the FAM tours. What these are, site selectors. They're third parties that are hired to find sites for businesses and our industry to build and that type of thing. And it's a chance to show off your region or our community. And we've done these. I actually went to one a few weeks ago in Roanoke with the Roanoke Regional Partnership. In all the localities that are within the Roanoke Regional Partnership got a chance to participate. But it's an opportunity to get to meet the site selectors, the people who are actually making the decision, or not making the decisions, but they influence the decision makers quite a bit. And they're the ones who are kind of the gatekeepers of what gets through and what doesn't. So it's an opportunity to really show off for them, create relationships with them, and then hopefully, you have positive returns. And I'll note in the one that we had just a couple weeks ago, the thing that stood out to them the most was our regional cooperation that we've had recently with the school systems, with this organization and other organizations that are all coming into one. So the regional cooperation was one of the things that that really stood out. And one of the site selectors actually mentioned kind of the rivalry and battles through the years and through the localities, but he was really glad to see that it changed. So that was a really positive from it. The marketing campaign, we hired a firm, JLV Communications, out of Richmond. Jill Vaughn, who is the owner and operator of that. I believe she was actually the director of marketing for Virginia State Lottery at one time. So she has a lot of connections in the industry, and they're doing a really good job of trying to get us out in front of the people who make decisions that will be looking and making decisions on those sites. This is one that has not been done necessarily, or maybe in the works. We also have another consultant, Hunting, and they're economic development consultants, and they are helping us develop incentives and different, not just data center strategies, but strategies for several different industries. But data centers is one that is it's good for our area just because of the remoteness. You don't have a lot of natural. Everywhere has natural disasters, but ours is probably limited comparison, other areas. But the one thing, they take a pile of electricity, and that is one of the infrastructure things. And Dominion is great about working with data centers and things, but there is a huge pull on electricity. Improve training programs for the region. And I'll also make this a public service announcement. We're not sure the exact date yet, but it's coming up soon. We're partnering or hosting at Mountain Gateway, and we're inviting all the local contractors, that any type of trades, skills, certification. Don't care if you have 1 employee or 100 employees. We want you all to come, and it's an opportunity to tell the college what you need, what pitfalls. Every contractor that I've talked to, there's a shortage, or they see a shortage coming in skilled labor, and a large portion of that group that's skilled now is 5 years, 10 years away from retirement, and we're getting close to a period where we're going to really run into a shortage, and we already are, but it's going to be severe. So this is a chance to kind of help develop programs, how they can even partner, that they can give some of their master electricians, for example, to help teach classes, or welding instructors, anything like that, so that we can make it easier or fill the needs or the demands from our local businesses. Find a private sector champion and identify a local champion and integrate. This would be somebody that not only has a lot of pull here, but also at the state level as well. Somebody that can help really bring in outside attention, dollars, connections, that type of thing. Someone who really loves it here, is rooted here, but still has all that. And also has an interest in working with economic development. That's obviously very, very important as well. The regional commerce part. At this point, we hadn't broken ground yet when we were doing this, and we did. We broke ground back at the end of June, and it's really going well. I have a drone photo here that I'll share with you real quick. This is what it looks like recently. So that was.
What's the location?
This is back behind Balchem, near Williams Fabrication. Off of 64, you turn, go across the bridge there at the YMCA, and go all the way to the back of it. And it's a 100-acre site.
That's not the Clifton Forge business.
No, we would skip to the next one. This one joint between Alleghany County and the city of Covington. It's a joint revenue sharing agreement. And so once a business or industry is located there, they're going to share in the tax revenue. But then the state also put up a lot of money for this as well. So the total project is going to be over $9 million. with the state throwing in a lot of money on top of that. And again, wouldn't have happened without the regional cooperation. They keep echoing how important that is. All right, so one thing I've learned in the pad-ready sites are like everything in economic development right now. It used to be shell buildings and that, but they don't want that. They just want the pad so you can start building immediately. And the reason why is so many of their buildings, structures have to be different. One may need 20-foot ceilings while the other may need 50. So they want to be able to hit the ground running, not make any modifications or improvements, but just build exactly what they need and customize it for them. One thing we're doing to prepare for the growth, and other localities haven't done this, and they're seeing housing shortages and that type thing. And I know you're thinking, well, we definitely won't have a housing shortage. But Martinsville didn't think that either. Asheville, North Carolina probably never thought that as well, but they didn't prepare for any growth. So one thing we're doing, and a lot of it has to do with this, is we're hosting a housing summit in April 25th. It's going to be here. So thank you for hosting that. We appreciate it. And we're going to have, this is an opportunity to get developers, different government organizations or entities that provide funding, just all different kinds of people, getting all the right people in the same room for development. It could be the apartments for MGCC students, senior living, housing for people who are commuting to Botetourt. Do we need, one of the things we hear a lot is we need new housing. That's why people may be moving. So get a new housing development started. And this will be an opportunity to show off all of our land that's available to develop. And people with, the experience and the funds to do the project that needs to be done will be in the room, and hopefully it will take off. So if you have property that you think would be good to show it off during this housing summit, please, you can go on the website, AHEDC.com, and at the top it has the 2024 Housing Summit link to that. So if you would please click on it and submit your property. It can be privately held, publicly held, any of the above. So please. And so this talks about the return on investment from the VEDP grant that we had gotten. And you can see how, like an automotive part manufacturer versus a distribution center, the direct jobs and the indirect jobs that come from those. And to be a tier 4 site, which is the top, you have to be 100 acres or more, and ours is going to be over 100 acres. What does that mean? And there's more than just the acreage, but being pad ready. What does that mean? It means we're going to get a first look from the developers or from the industries that are looking to locate here and to build here. We're going to get a much better look. We'll be thrown out there first just because we're a tier 4 site versus a tier 2, because that means that they're going to have a lot. It takes them time to get everything ready just to start building. So, this is another site that we have available, and it's total of 53 acres. They are adjoining, and it has access to water, natural gas, and rail. So like the trifecta. And so their recommendation here was, to help work with the owners, to help market it, and get those other parts filled. And then greenfield versus brownfield site. Greenfield sites they're undeveloped land, and it may be cheaper to obtain, but harder to gain necessary zoning permits. And that's because a brownfield site is previously been developed, unused factory, that type thing. So it's already zoned. There's already probably some environmental concerns, possibly. So there's no risk of, they're going to continue to maintain the current zoning. With a greenfield site, you may not want to disturb it. You may get pushback from someone, people in the community not wanting a development there or a factory there. But our goal is to locate a new one. And to help do this, started with Terry before me. She was working on the brownfield site grant that we have, and we did receive it. It's $500,000, and that helps with phase 1 and 2 site assessments. It can be public or privately held land. It's through the EPA. It can do. It's a huge tool because a lot of times a phase 2 environmental study can be quite expensive. You're looking probably $50,000. So you're having these done, not knowing, hoping that your project that you're wanting to move forward with is going to work. So this is a way to kind of remove one of those barriers. And then what it also does is it opens us up to opportunities to other funding sources if we do find a problem that would help clean it up or get the properties suitable. So, questions, comments?